Welcome back to PregamePros.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo. I'm joined with Dave Essler. In this video, we're going to talk about some general handicapping. It's baseball season. We're taping this in June. Dave's out here on vacation in Vegas. Vacation, and you're going to the sports betting capital of the world. Sounds like a working vacation, doesn't it?
The only thing, well, never mind. Yes.
I know you're working hard at the
Yeah,
Mirage pool.
But, yeah, I am.
But we're going to talk some some general handicapping principles for baseball. Baseball, Dave, obviously more so. We had lunch and we were talking about different things. Baseball, more than any other sport, is statistical based. I mean, let's face it. We look at statistics in every sport, but there's not a sport where statistics come into play more than in Major League Baseball, because so much of it is centered around it's two players at one time.
Correct.
It's the pitcher and the hitter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's where
It's one-on-one.
It's where it happens. And what are your handicap? Just a few. We don't want to give away all the house secrets, but
I don't mind.
Tell us
They
some
might
of the
change tomorrow.
Tell us some things that you like to look at or use. When you're going through your daily routine.
There's all kinds of schools of thought on that, but I start at the beginning with the starting pitchers, and I'm big into pitch counts. Mm-hmm. If it's not somebody that's thrown over 100 pitches all that often, and they've had 2 or 3 games of 108, 110, that's almost an auto fade for me. I almost don't care who it is, mm-hmm. especially if it's somebody with a bad bullpen. It's like, the guy's not going to throw 6 innings.
That's to elaborate on that point for a second. Again, I hate to keep bringing up horse racing as a comparison, but a lot of my baseball handicapping regarding starting pitchers, I simulate handicapping horse racing, mm-hmm. and the reason being, horses, they're not machines. Pitchers aren't machines
Correct.
either. Even though a lot of people view the big name pitchers,
mm-hmm.
You got a Lynchcomb,
they don't not go 24-0.
Okay, exactly. And horses go through what we call in the horse racing industry form cycles. They go in and out of form several times throughout the season, mm-hmm. or their careers. And our job is, when you're handicapping horse racing, is to try to find when they're coming into form, mm-hmm. because you're getting the best value.
Correct.
Because they're going to be a long shot. And on the flip side, when they're going
mm-hmm.
out of form, you've got the value by going to look to find another horse, or in this instance in baseball, fading him, because if it's a big name pitcher, he's going to be a big favorite.
You're going to pay for it.
You're getting a live dog.
You don't want to pay for him after he's thrown 3 straight one-hitters.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
That minus 220 in the next game might only be minus 150, so let's just be patient.
These are good principles. Another thing that I like to look at with pitchers, Dave, and pick your brain there, the pitch counts, that's huge. One thing I'll say first off, I've got a huge pet peeve. I mean, again, we talk about old school, and I'm as old as they get. Not quite so as somebody else sitting around here.
It's all right.
But
it's all about the money.
It is. You being a guy that's been around and seen baseball over the last 3 decades, mm-hmm. Playing and everything, my biggest pet peeve is baseball today, where it's almost, you don't need a manager sitting in a dugout anymore. It's almost mm-hmm. like they're on autopilot. The guy goes 6 innings.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what he's doing.
Yep.
You push this button.
He's got 108 pitches, and he's due up third, and we need a pinch hit, even though we're ahead by 6 runs, and he hasn't given up a hit, because we got the 7th, 8th, and 9th in the close. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got the setup.
And you
guy.
lose the game 7-6.
You got the middle relief guy. You got the setup guy, and then the closer. And nothing drives me more crazy than having the lead and have your pitcher not even come out to start the inning. Mm-hmm. And then end up losing that game. Mm-hmm. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I couldn't agree more. I don't care if I got money on it if he's already thrown 130 pitches.
Yeah.
Until he walks somebody.
Let him get himself in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. As soon as somebody gets on, then go get, then you can pull the plug quick,
Yeah.
But at least let him get up there.
They overthink the problem. I think some of these managers get these guys up, and they're kind of warming up in the 6th or the 5th, and well, he's thrown 72 warm-up pitches. Oh, we better use him.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. And that setup guy's getting paid, $1.5 million,
yeah.
and we can't have him sitting out there,
Nope.
just chewing on sunflower seeds. You know, we got to get our
We
money's
can
worth.
if we have money on them. You bet.
The other thing that, and it's something that it goes to going deeper. Now you talked about pitch counts, and that's a great analogy to look at. You know, where a pitcher may be today. I think too many people just look at raw numbers, the average bettor. They'll look in their newspaper and they'll see today's lineup, and in the lineup you'll see, this is what, tell me you haven't seen anybody or know anybody that does this. They look and see the guy's season ERA.
Oh, yeah.
And then they see the last 3 games. They always usually put that last 3 stat, and they go, oh, wow, this guy's, you know, got a 1.79 ERA in his last 3 starts.
Yeah, but they don't tell you he's just played the Padres,
San Francisco,
you know, the Pirates.
Yeah.
You know, weak-hitting teams.
Exactly.
You know,
you've got to dig deeper.
You know, if he's
into
just played, you know, the Red Sox, the Reds, and you know the Yankees all on the road, and he's done that. Well, you know, maybe he's okay against the Padres.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at it. So you can't just take short. The bottom line is there's no shortcuts in this. You've got to put your time in. Situational handicapping. I'm a big situational guy. I know you use it as part of your arsenal. Me, you know, and I'll admit, baseball is the least effective sport as far as where you can put situations into play, because again, we come back to 2 players. But there are some really unique situations in baseball that, you know, I personally love, and they're always going to be in you know, my repertoire of what I'm going to use. And one of them is, and I call it the bite the hand that fed you theory. Any person ever, doesn't matter where you're, what you do, if you got fired from a particular job or let go or mutual parting of the ways, no matter how much you love that employer or whatever, when you're gone,
Yep.
you want to bend him over.
You bet.
And just, you know what to him. And when a pitcher comes back to face a team that let him go or whatever the first time, I think it is a huge, huge handicapping situation that cannot be ignored, because I don't care how good or how bad that pitcher's pitching at that moment.
It's one day, one game, and
you're going to get
matters.
You're going to get everything
You had a situation like that recently with Zach Duke in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I actually did two of my bigger plays this year were games involving Pittsburgh, and it was former players. Ryan Vogelsong earlier in the year actually made his debut when they brought him back. Here's a guy that was out of baseball for a few years. The last time he pitched, he was in a Pirate uniform.
Right.
And he came back and he mowed the Pirates down.
He's
in
mowed
Pittsburgh.
everybody down.
Yeah, he's having a great season, no question about it. But it's a situation that one day you know you're going to get the best effort from that guy. And then...
it's you know, J.A. Happ facing the Phillies, or, you know, Bronson Arroyo facing the Red Sox. You kind of have to know that was a while ago, the trade or whatever, or the free agency. But it still matters to them.
It still matters to them, and more so the first few times that it happens. And especially, and I don't know about you, but I found even more so when it's in the ballpark of the, rather than in your home.
When they can make a bigger statement.
In front of the other person. So, and then there's a flip side to these situational plays. I mean, huge situational swings in football when, of who you played and who you play next. You were high this week, you're low next week. With a pitcher like this, after facing one of these situations, as high as they were...
Now your biorhythms are down here next start. You bet.
Absolutely.
I don't care who you're playing.
So...
And you're going to be overpriced because of that last start.
Absolutely. And it goes back to the one thing. It doesn't matter what sport. There's one common denominator in everything we do. We're looking for value. Anytime we feel we're getting the best of a number, or in baseball, a line, that's what we do. Any baseball theories, you want to share any little pet handicapping things you have?
I think we've covered everything that I want to share for free.
This guy's caught on to being a pro quick. But all kidding aside, you give a ton of information away for free.
I'll share anything. I mean, one of the cool things, and I've said this in the forums, and I've said it in my daily message, and I mean it, A lot of people, my predecessors, I guess, if you will, people that are some are current pros and some aren't, and you all know who they are, that kind of taught me or brought together what I already knew, and I love doing that for other people. Mm-hmm. It's like some people ask a question and I'll answer it and they're like really thankful. And I'm like, no, thank you for asking the question, mm-hmm. because it's important, and if it helps you get to your confidence level and adds to what you want to do, then great.
It is, and I can tell you from somebody that's done this long, and I don't have any kids, so I can't teach my son how to be a handicapper. When I hear some of the other pros sometimes quote something that say, well, this is a Marco situation or something.
It makes you feel good.
It does. I mean, I'm not going to kid you. You get all warm and fuzzy.
Because then why don't you say, well, then why don't you buy Marco's play?
But it's a situation that
Now, see, RJ would probably have a trademark on that.
He probably does. I'm sure he does.
Well, then I mean, children are going to do what you let them get away with. I mean, there's a line, and that's it.
But it's great, and I love teaching, and and that's the beauty of the forums. Seriously, Dave, and I know you're a guy that does spend a lot of time in the forum.
I'd admit to not lately, but that's.
You enjoy.
That's one of those situations.
Well, if you heard what he was doing at the Mirage Pool, you'd understand. But that's another story, another.
I've made the plays. Okay, the analysis are done.
No problem. Hey, work hard, play hard. That's the way it goes. But you do interact with people, and when somebody, all the time I see somebody ask you a question, and you're there and you answer it. You'll get back to those people, and that's. Tell me any other forum out there where the pros do intermingle, because most of the places.
Well, so you know what's really cool about that for me, everybody has questions,
right? But
not everybody's. A lot of people are afraid to ask them. Mm-hmm. I remember I asked questions that looking back are either dumb or if you don't ask, you'll never get the answer.
Right.
And I admire the people that will ask that question and say, "Gee, I don't know." Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of stuff I don't know.
Right.
I ask. And I admire people that are willing to do that and say, putting the ego aside, say, hey, I'm not as smart as I think I am. That says something to me.
Well, good stuff, Dave. I appreciate you stopping by and sharing some, handicapping tidbits with us and some theories and angles that we use. Continued success. You've done an amazing job. So far at Pregame, and I see the future being very bright for you. You've done it in football, you turned around, did it in basketball, and we're halfway through the baseball season, and you're doing it in baseball. You're a man for all seasons. So that's.
I'm doing hockey next year.
You're doing hockey next year. The day 32 years I'll be this season. The day you see me doing hockey, I'll probably be senile, and you'll be checking me into the home. I have one rule.
Can I be GM of picks?
You can take the job. Ask RJ.
I already know that answer.
I have to like a sport, really truly like it, because I got to watch.
I do like hockey. I grew up in Boston.
Absolutely.
Didn't they just win? They won something.
Yeah, they did. And you know what's ironic though? I mean, just sidebar for hockey. You think somebody that came from Pittsburgh that got to see Mario Lemieux, Yarmer Yager when he
right.
broke into the league, now Sidney Crosby, you would think that I would love the sport, because how many teams can say they've had some of the greatest
right.
players in the game be at their and I never wrapped myself around.
Well, it's a lot more interesting now than it used to be. They got rid of that two-line stuff, and they got these really cute girls that come on skates, and it's all right. It goes fast.
I have to check that out. I get excited when the Penguins are in the playoffs and they get past the first round. Then I'll be show up late to the party. But Dave, thanks for stopping by. Pregame Pros, handicapping techniques here. We do this with a lot of our different cappers. Pick their brains so you can understand what type of handicapper they are. Pick up some little handicapping nuggets for yourself. Appreciate you guys watching. He's Dave Essler. I'm Marco D'Angelo. Thanks for viewing.